This summer we've posted videos on antibiotic kits, bug out kits in walking sticks, animal feed prepping, and more.
But producing and preserving is a huge part of our self-sufficiency and preparedness.
Even though Trey produces crazy amounts of eggs and poultry,
and KK preserves cheese and yogurt from her goat milk, our biggest contribution to our prepping is definitely Bunkie's garden, and today she will finally be taking you on a garden tour for 2022.
So come on, I'll show you around. Okay, so this is my path towards my garden, and it actually is basically part of my garden. Now this is my lavender and Thai basil. Now to Thai basil I love too, even though it's not regular basil, I love it. But this is my lavender, and apparently it's a perennial. Lavender, it came back, so it died off in the winter, and then it came back very strong. Now it wasn't strong last year, so now it's like a jungle. And my basil is doing amazing. And next is this spearmint. It's the normal spearmint, and we had a harvest off of this, and we dried it. We put it in a can. I even ate one time, and it's really good. And yeah, it's being a jungle too. So next is my elderberries. Now I netted my elderberries this year, and look, even one of them is getting purple. So we netted them though because birds are getting everywhere and eating all of my berries, and so I really wanted to put a net on them because we love elderberries. This is the table grapes, and look, we have one. I even tasted them one time. It's actually kind of sour the one time, but I'm sure it's very sweet now. I welcome you into Bunkie's garden. So here is my beets. Now I planted these about a month ago. Now if you would look at the bottom of them, some of them you can start seeing the beet, because it's kind of like the onion. The onion will take the onion part, the one you slice up and put into the recipe you're making with onions, it will show your onion, and it's actually, beets do the same thing, but they're not in the same family. Here are my onions. Now look at my onions, they're doing so great. Like I said, they came out of the ground just like the beets. So why is this bed so sad? And then I've got my little lonely tomato plant. This is actually a volunteer. I don't know why it came here. I never planted tomatoes here. I think one of the seeds from a tomato came out. And my fabulous basil. This is normal basil. It smells so good. These are my marigolds. I've also got some all over the garden. Here's more marigolds and basil. Mr. Joe, this is my Peter Pepper. I had one harvest that I showed you already, but my biggest Peter Pepper is probably that one right there. So, yay! The Celery though, this is my new thing that I'm growing in my garden. It's actually ginger. My ginger is doing very good. Now I had it in a little container, but it started growing wildly. So now I have it in a bigger container, and it's looking amazing. Then I've got more basil, and Mr. Andy sent me a moringa. Now it's doing amazing, so it's really good. But I'm really excited. And then finally, this Melody, I have my salsa garden. I actually took off 2 of my peppers, and look, there's another one starting. And I ate one of them, because I couldn't wait to eat one of them. I couldn't wait for the rest. And it actually tasted like a bell pepper. So it was really, really good. Here, Mr. Randy also sent us some Filipino eggplant. And if you go over here, I have an eggplant. Ooh. So that's my Filipino eggplant along with some beautiful basil that is flowering. You gotta pull those off because they will stop growing. These are also marigolds. Got some here and some here. These ones, ooh, they're getting their flower. But Mr. Randy, we've got a lot of bitter melon coming. Here's a flower. There's a lot of flowers. I saw one over here yesterday. See, one starting. But we're gonna get a lot of bitter melon. And then I have more basil here. They're doing amazing because I have basil all over my garden. The reason I have basil here and marigolds here is because I've never seen a hornworm, tomato worm, on this plant. Hornworms, they will eat the leaves, and my leaves are doing amazing. They will lay their eggs on the plant, so that's another evidence. And they will also ruin basically their tomato. Now this one looks great. I've gotten tons of harvests and I'm getting more to come. This is an iced lemon tomato from Mr. Jeff at Grow Something with Jeff. But it's doing amazing. And then this is my moringa, my marigold and my basil. I said that, I think. Here is my Sandy. This is your tomato, my schwa tomato, and oh, it's doing so good. And then there's more tomato over here branch. I think I might need to cut that one off. Got a sucker. But this is my schwa tomato is what I call it. So I'm really excited. And then over here, Mr. Charles. Oh, I've got a yellow ice lemon. Nice. Mr. Charles, this is your tomato. And I can't tell what it is yet. Have you figured out what I sent you yet? I knew it was a tomato, so I was right on that because the seeds looked exactly like a tomato. But I can't tell. Maybe it's a beef steak. Or maybe it's a big boy tomato. I don't know. Here is my dad's favorite and ultimate favorite pepper. Now, these are bell peppers. I don't know why I have a bell pepper there. But these are Melrose peppers. They are Italian frying pepper. And every time you get some that is good and bring them in the house, they're gone in almost a day. Because Daddy likes to fry them, and then they're all eaten at dinner. Here's another bell pepper, but these are my glorious Melons peppers. Now, this is my melon. Only one, actually two of my melons. Let's see. Now, if you look over here, you'll see a cantaloupe. I'm really excited for that one. So this is cantaloupes. We've got more cantaloupes there. But I've got some ripe tomato. Nice. Smells amazing. These are not comebackers. This one's a comebacker, but this one is not. I actually planted them. These are not volunteers. These are basically the ultimate comebacker. So I've got a bunch of rattlesnake beans. We even picked one and I ate one. So there's no pick. But next is my bell peppers. So I'm leaving these go and grow for as long as I can because I want them to be like store-bought because I want big and I want like colorful. Ooh, and now I've got one watermelon. This is my melon plant. Now if you look over here, that's my first one that I had. And I had to have Trey help me with it because I couldn't reach it. So Trey and I put a net, but look how many melons I've got. I've got one there, one over there, and another one over there. I have tons. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to have a watermelon. I'm sure one of them is ready to pick. So this is my jalapenos. I am so afraid of them. They're so spicy. But I've got a lot of them. I'm not gonna touch any of them because I'll touch my... Now this is another watermelon. Look how much good. But this is my Chinese long beans. These Chinese long beans, we picked a few, and KK and I made some pepper and garlic beans with these beans. So I really, really enjoyed that. But I'm not gonna pick any because we like them when they're fat. Oh, so here is some cantaloupes. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to pick one of these because I get hungry when I go here. So these are my serrano peppers. And they're actually doing pretty good. These are spicier, I think, than jalapenos, but these are some bell peppers I just put here because I had extra. Now over here, I've got some, I think these are San Marzanos. So I've got some volunteer San Marzanos and a melon, another melon. I have so many melons, I can't believe it. So over here is this bed. I used to have potatoes in. I harvested them all though. So these potatoes, so over here, as I said, I had potatoes there. These are the last. Look, I've got, Miss Jan, I've got some celery again. So I'm excited for that. Oh, and I've also got a pepper over there. Now here is Trey's strawberries. Trey's tray of strawberries. Here's one getting ripe. I can't wait for that. I think that's her ever-bearing one that goes on for almost ever. So I would like to welcome you into my fixed tomato row. I have more tomatoes, but I've got some here that's getting ripe. I'm not gonna pick it just yet. But these are my beefsteak tomatoes. We are a fan of beefsteaks, I can tell you that. Dad likes to put them in garlic, basil, and put the tomatoes in. So, yeah. So I have here 12-inch spacing between each of them. And the hay kinda keeps back weeds, and they are actually doing pretty good. The hay keeps back weeds, well, the straw keeps back weeds, and there's 12-inch spacing for each of them, and I trim off the bottom leaves, or pluck, so there's not like diseases on them at all. I also pluck off suckers. Well, that's what we call them. And I also got some roots, those little bumps, which used to be the trichomes, the little fuzzy parts. I used to have trichomes, and now I have roots. So I've got more tomatoes over here. Oh yeah, so basil. I have basil all over my garden by my tomatoes. because not only that I love it, but it's because it also keeps away some hornworms. So does marigolds, but basil helps keep away hornworms. So I've got more and more and more. And here, ta-da! I've got a good, look at that one. That one's ripe. There's a ton of these. Ooh, that one fell. But that's a yellow tomato. They're not ice lemons, but they're yellow and they really taste good. So I've got ripe. There's thousands of tomatoes that are ripe here, and there's more over here. So I'm really, really happy with my tomatoes. And I trimmed all of these and they were looking fantastic. Oh, wow. So there's more. There's a ton of tomatoes. Here they're not San Marzanos. First I thought they were San Marzanos, but they're not. They're actually something that's really cool. It's also first time growing. They were indigo tomatoes. I've never grown these indigo tomatoes, and I was really interested on them. And finally, I found them at the seed company we shop at. And they look really cool. We harvested one of them, but they'll get like purple, like darkish purple, and they're beautiful. Now, I would like to welcome you to one of the messy jungle parts of my garden. Look at this. They're wildly growing, and if you look over here, I've got 3 cucumbers. There's a fat one over there. Let's see. Ooh, it's a big one. That's a big one. Let's see. Can I pick that? Oh, this is hard. There we go. So we go it out of there. So I've got a bunch of them there. There's another long one. I'm not picking any of them because I don't have baskets. I wasn't expecting this. So there's a bunch of cucumbers. The second 100 feet tomato row has intermediate tomatoes like San Marzanos. My tomatoes. But this is my potatoes. Tomatoes. This is my not so doing well potatoes. These are not the sweet potatoes though. These are the sweet potatoes. And they're doing awesome. And over here is some lettuce too. And over there is some asparagus. I have 2 raised beds that I can't lift by myself with cabbage and fennel. And look at these squash and these pumpkins. If you want to know how I grow my pumpkins and squash, click here. These are the biggest pumpkins I've ever grown.